Hello, everybody, and guess who is with us in the house today? It's Dr. Ahmad Altarawneh, and he is the Senior Transformation Consultant at Dubai Police. Dr. Tarawneh has been out there in the digital transformation environment for years and years, helping people to build their awareness of what digital transformation actually means. He is an expert in the field. He is a worldwide figure, and we're so happy to have you today with us, Dr. Tarawneh.
Thank you, Doaa. Thank you for having me, and I'm happy to be with you guys today. I hope I can add something to your day.
Always adding something to everybody's day. So, I wanted to ask you a question regarding digital transformation. What attracted you to digital transformation, Dr. Tarawneh?
Well, I suppose digital or the world of digital grows on you and sort of like crawls up on you, and it has become an integral part of all of our lives. Since I think the 80s and the 90s, I've been fascinated with digital in terms of its life cycle. It started out as electronic. If you remember, many years ago, we used to talk about electronic this, electronic that, and then we grew up in terminology and started talking about smart this and smart that, and then of course we migrated from smart to digital. And now we're exploring what's after digital. So digital has become part of our world. And if you don't pay attention to it, it's only a matter of time before you're excluded from being a vital person in a world full of digital. So digital is necessary. It's no longer a luxury. It's a necessity, and it has to be in everybody's life. And I believe everybody must work on not just digital maturity, but also digital dexterity as well.
Oh my God. And that almost, conflicts with the initial idea which people had with digital, where they used to fear that technology will replace human beings. So, now the fear is not to be able to catch up with what's going on digitally. So, what's your take on the old, perspective of people fearing that kind of transformation, things digitalizing and becoming so digital?
Digital things will not replace people. It will replace people who are not well versed in digital. So it's a matter of you looking at yourself and saying, okay, here's where I am today, and here's what I'm doing today, and what I'm doing today involves so many digital aspects or so much digital aspects, and do I need to grow in which pillar of digital do I need to grow so that I can maintain my job, sustain it, and grow into something better? And for that, each and every one of us must maintain a certain level of digital maturity. Digital dexterity, of course, is a level that's above and beyond digital maturity. And if you're digitally dexter, no one is going to replace you with anything.
Oh, so that means that it becomes part of our new literacy. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Just like, when we, when a baby is born, we start to teach him how to, walk and talk and eat. It's the same thing with digital. Now, we've got to work on our people within our organizations, so that they can actually deal with all of these digital transformation, so-called digital transformation, and upgrading of systems and stuff like that, which I don't really call digital transformation. I call modernization, right? Yeah. So, we put on new tools, new techniques, new systems, new this, new that. Those are all modernizations. They're not digital transformation. Digital transformation is a world. It's components, it's modules. It involves people, processes, technologies, resources, partnerships, risks, all kinds of things. So it's an ecosystem. It's not just a system here and there. It's not an upgraded CRM or an upgraded master data management or whatever. It involves the whole ecosystem of things, out of which people are the main component.
Wow. So people will remain the main component.
100%. In any organization today, if you look at any organization, you could spend millions and millions of dollars and dirhams to upgrade systems and put on technologies. But if you don't have the right mix of people, the digitally mature, digitally dexter people to actually use these systems and utilize them and sort of like get the most percentage of utilization out of these systems, they're as good as nothing, to be honest with you. You're going to have to get either companies to run them or outsource them to different companies or something like that. So if your people are not digitally mature and dexter to actually operate and get the best out of your systems, your money is not well spent.
Wow, it becomes a part of the human evolution then. It becomes part of the mindset transformation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Capacity building is in place. Organizations today, I think 80% of their money or more should be spent on people and upgrading and upskilling their people so that they can easily put on any system and achieve, a new KPI, for example, is called percent utilization of system. So percent utilization of technology, percent utilization of system requires actually percent utilization of people. So your people are the ones who are going to run the systems. They're the ones who are going to potentialize and get the best out of those systems and turn them into impact, turn them into value, benefit to be realized at the bottom line of any organization.
So it's maximizing the effectiveness of people through this technology, rather. It's actually helping people get to where they want in a shorter time with less effort.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why organizations in the first place, when they put on projects or they start to think of which projects we need to undertake for next year, for example, they've got to start at the people level and say, do we have the right mix of people, the cross-functional teams necessary to actually operate this project, maintain this project, make sure this project is potentialized, and the benefit realization matrix, which they decide before they put on the project, is actually achieved at the end of the project and going on further.
Absolutely. That makes total sense. As a part of the digital world that you are helping people become more aware of, I realize that lately you're also been posting about the digital twins. And you were actually, having several articles about this. I wanted to ask you or request that you explain this concept, because I meet people every day who are still not aware what is a digital twin. Can you please help people understand what is a digital twin?
Amazing question. Yes, basically, when I started to look at the digital twins, actually it was associated and bundled and sort of conceptualized with the future of project management and the future of things. So a digital twin is that, when we take anything in real life and actually sort of design and make a twin of it in the digital world. So basically, this is a concept that's been done a long, long time ago. They used to make digital twins of airplanes and engines and airplane engines and all kinds of things, and actually simulate what will happen within this engine and how we can make it better and so on. The same concept has grown now to projects, for example. Okay, so now we can make a digital twin of a building, we can make a digital twin of a road, we can make a digital twin of a whole city, and there's actually several digital twins of all kinds of cities. You have Hong Kong, for example, has spent a lot of money to develop their own digital twin of the whole city. Barcelona, many cities around the world are actually now building a digital twin of the whole city. This is replicating the whole city in the virtual world. Every street, every building, every tree, every pole, everything. And in that digital twin, now with the, of course, the availability of IoTs, the Internet of Things, industrial Internet of Things, in Internet of Everything, which is IOET, for example. There's so many things that are available now that we could actually feed the digital twin with all kinds of information, all kinds of data that can be analyzed and visualized so that we could actually start to read actionable insights, things that we could do within the city, within the building, within the road. We could simulate traffic, we could simulate people's behavior, foot traffic, we could simulate carbon footprint. We could do so many things with digital twins that we and in real time actually, so that we could actually better manage the cities and move up from what we call digital world into what we call responsive world. And responsive is the umbrella that actually you migrate from digital to, so that you can achieve a world that's now well integrated with the people. So when you talk about cities, for example, it's all about city users. Now, how can we make the city users actually love the city? So then within the digital twin, we actually simulate the behaviors and everything that's happening within that digital twin, and then we could better make a decision whether to enlarge this road or close this road, open up exits, do all kinds of things. Before we put up a building somewhere, we could actually simulate whether this is going to be accepted by the users or not. It's going to create bottlenecks or whatever. So there's so many things that can happen in the world of digital twins. In the mind and hands of city engineers and people and thought leaders that can take this concept to levels, we could actually make humanity much better than in levels, in quality of life than we are today.
My God, this is bigger than I had ever thought. A digital twin of an entire city was beyond my imagination. I can imagine the expense and risk minimized just because you have the chance to simulate this virtually rather than go by trial and error with real raw materials and resources.
Amazing thought, because this is basically one area where we could actually simulate risk management to levels never been done before. Within a particular project, for example, we could make a digital twin of a project, a whole project, before it's even put on, okay? Then we can actually simulate everything and anything within that project, and of course, including risks. And then, of course, that's all logged. And now we have governance, we have real-time project management, we have the future of project management. It's amazing. So now once you do actually a digital twin of a project and you decide that it's a go based on a benefit realization matrix, based on all kinds of things, and then basically you put on the project, now you could actually bring that project to life. We can make anyone around that project can have wearables, for example. We can measure their temperature. We can figure out how many steps they've taken. We can actually shoot them over a message that says, go sit down for 5 minutes. Your temperature it's too high. Now go get in the shade, for example. We could actually figure out where they are at any certain moment of time. If an employee, for example, or a worker claims to be hurt, we could actually figure out exactly the geofence where he was or where she was, and we could actually govern the whole project to levels that have never done before. We could even do payment certificates using digital twins. We could monitor. I, as a project manager, for example, or a projects manager, I could probably visit all of my projects online without even moving, a foot away from my office or whatever. I could, now I become efficient and effective in managing 10 projects, 20 projects, or whatever it takes, right? So based on all of that, based on the wearables, technology today allows us to bundle so many things together, and then, of course, use the concept of digital twin, where I could have real-time, 100% governed projects, so effective, so efficient, amazingly controlled within risk environment, and move on and speed up things and save money and all kinds of things, and even increase people's happiness, quality of life. All kinds of measurements can take place here.
Simulate the project, feed the new variables, and see into the future.
Amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. It can only, the future of project management has to be this. The future of cities has to be, it has to involve digital twins. Without digital twins, of course, also I don't have integration. I don't have diversity. I don't have a lot of things. Imagine if someone like people with disabilities, for example, sitting at home, with a digital twin concept bundled with conversational AI, for example, bundled with Metaverse. I can give them access to the world, right? Older people, anything. I can now make it possible for the marginal groups, for the impoverished communities to actually take place, within the world, go anywhere, visit anything. So many things, so many use cases, real life use cases of great benefit to humanity can be achieved with a bundle of things. Sometimes it's not just the digital twin, it's a bundle of things. It's, bundling the digital twin with, for example, conversational AI and Metaverse. Like with conversational AI, I can break down language barrier. In Dubai, we have
Yes.
213 nationalities, right? And so imagine now if I have a place where you log in, it's called a Metaverse. You go in with your avatar, you speak with digital twins and interact in any language you want. And you get the reply back in your language. So now I have given you access. I've broken down geography barriers, language barriers, time barriers, all kinds of things can be achieved.
This is like making a dream come true. I mean, especially when you're talking about transforming the breaking the barriers and, transforming, risks into something that people can measure, something people can actually, get closer results to understanding what they can save in terms of money, people's lives. They can make digital twins on operations in that way. I mean, digital twins in aerospace.
Absolutely.
So I mean, the opportunities are limitless based on what you said.
Absolutely. It's all about our mind. And I really would love people to understand the fact that within the world of transformation, not necessarily digital transformation, because when I look at these things, I look at a bundle, I look at a concept, I look at a combination of people, processes, technologies, resources, and so on. I'd love people to believe that the sky is not the limit. The sky is just a target. Yeah. And if you just let your mind go, think like the mad scientist, I think you can come up with use cases that are so beautiful for humanity and mankind, for running and managing cities in real time, for identifying people's behavior, adjusting people's driver behavior, for example, to reduce accidents. There's so many use cases available there. Of course, using a combination of things and bundles of digital twins and other things, IoTs and so on, beacons, geofencing. So many technologies can be bundled together to make one use case that is so amazing that could actually, like you just said, it could reduce death. It can actually help us achieve SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, such as reducing the number of deaths on the roads and serious accidents by 50% by 2030 or so on. So many things can be done utilizing tools and techniques such as transformation and digital transformation, but not without a combination of things, not without, I think, in an ecosystem type of way, involving, like I said, people, process, technologies, and so on.
Combination takes it, I think, Dr. Tarawneh, to another leap. So when you just said digital twins and AI, that's another leap. So like mixing both together, it takes us to this other era, if you will.
Absolutely.
What about if we shift our how can you take us from this evolution in terms of, having digital twins to cities, to machines, to equipment, to digital twins of human beings? Because the moment you said digital twins and AI, I just couldn't stop thinking about human beings. Where does that take us?
Absolutely. We're actually, Dubai Police, is a forward-thinking company. It's a learning organization. And that's actually one of the first things that we started to dabble with and sort of like pilot is can we make, for example, a digital twin of His Excellency, the Chief Commander, okay? And make him available within a metaverse platform, and then bundle that with conversational AI capabilities that breaks down language barriers, and have that digital twin of His Excellency the Chief Commander available to converse with anyone around the world. Okay,
My goodness.
So you ask questions. Yes, you ask questions, and then the Chief Commander replies. Same thing can be done for the head of customer happiness, or the head of CID, or whatever. Okay, so yeah, digital twins of people is actually at a simpler level than the full spectrum of a digital twin of a city. So we can make a digital twin of anyone, and as a matter of fact, we're doing that already. I mean, you've had interactions with chat bots and stuff like that. They're nothing but a digital twin. There used to be just a chat bot, trained with a certain amount of details and some kind of model. And now they're actually LLMs, which is large language models and so on, like ChatGPT, for example, right? So the more you ask, the more you talk with the digital twin, the more the digital twin actually learns and adapts to your culture and behavior and things like that. And I mean, these things can be taken to amazing levels of interactions and training that can actually add value to all of us, reduce our customer efforts, reduce employees' efforts. I mean, actual benefits can be achieved by actually leveraging all of these technologies.
It's like it's making people who are experts in the field become more like omnipresent. And it's not just about being omnipresent in people's own language.
Absolutely. All kinds of barriers, like I said, can be broken. But my advice here to any organization or person that wants to get involved, specifically define what you want to do. So, for example, if you're a young person, there's so many opportunities now to start your own micro business. So I'm actually launching an initiative to help 1,000 youth, persons around the world to think and develop and own and start their own micro business. So I'll be coaching them and mentoring them all free of charge, for example.
Wow.
To start their own, whatever they want within this beautiful world. So you could become a developer, you could become a content builder, you could go into cybersecurity side of these things, policing these things. There's so many areas and so many things that you could actually dive in and start your own micro business. If you're a young person, I think now it really behooves you to start thinking what kind of role you can play within this world, this digital world, like you say, like you call it, and you could easily start a small micro business that can grow up and become a unicorn.
Dr. Tarawneh, what you're saying right now just reminded me of this, eternal desire by man, not man, I mean in terms of man, my human being, of wanting eternity. Since, the beginning of creation, people wanted eternity. And so how can people actually, and we're getting there, we're almost getting there in a way, not physically, but in terms of being present. How does the idea of digital twins help people, especially people who are experts in their field, people who are sort of irreplaceable, fulfill that deep human desire?
Amazing question, and an amazing also set of use cases. We can actually now digitize all of our lives, and basically our lives are being digitized for us within the social media, but we can play a role and actually leave a legacy. What I believe that can happen here is leaving a legacy, like self-actualization. So basically, I was subjected, for example, a little while back to a wedding in Dubai that took place in a metaverse, and the grandfather, which was dearly loved by the groom, was actually digitized and made real life digital twin of him to join the wedding.
What?
So imagine now, yeah, amazing.
It's
And,
beautiful.
and so many other things that can happen. Imagine talking to Einstein, right? We imagine interacting with anyone, any historical figure from history, and then of course going on to the future. Imagine 30 years from now, your kids and grandkids, inshallah, talking to you, and of course, I hope that we're all still alive and stuff like that.
I'll have my distant twin. It doesn't matter.
Long life, long life. But
Thank you.
anyway, imagine 100 years now, people still looking back at us and interacting with us and asking us questions. And actually, we, within our self and culture and knowledge and all of these things, we actually interact with them and answer it all. And those are just simple things, simple use cases. So yeah, we could, things can become eternal, and I suppose, till the end of the world. But basically, yeah, leaving a legacy behind definitely can happen within the digital world.
Wow. Especially if you throw AI in the mix, you can actually ask people who are not here, whether physically or actually literally, and they will give you the thought process of the person, not just as a voice, but as a person.
Absolutely, absolutely. I had, when ChatGPT, for example, came about, I started to work with it, and I actually wrote my own book on a manual, basically, on using ChatGPT within the government organization using prompts, right? So I claim to be a self-made a prompt engineer. So I looked at every single prompt that I can get my hands on from the whole world and started to look at it and started to ask myself questions. How can I use ChatGPT, for example, to actually become my personal assistant, right? So in one prompt, I could say, hey, ChatGPT, act as my personal assistant, adopt the personality of Einstein, and look at everything that Einstein has done through history within your capabilities as a large language model. And now talk to me, ask me questions, then I will answer, and I will ask you questions, and you answer. And let's just have a real conversation, you as Einstein and me as Ahmad. And it was an amazing experience. Yeah.
Give me Einstein's opinion on this.
Exactly. I mean, if you were Einstein or as Einstein, what would you think of this thing? How would you do this? What would you be the solution to this is? And that's just one thing that this thing can do. Of course, now there's a lot of large language models. There's ChatGPT, there's Bard, there's all kinds of things happening in that front. And that's a real example, Doaa. If you don't take advantage of that, if you don't understand as a person, if you don't deal with these things, if you don't understand them, if you don't leverage them, you will be replaced. Okay? So this is a real example, real life example, is that if you upgrade yourself in these things, then you will not be replaced. Okay, there's no way that anyone with that kind of capacity is replaceable, unless, of course, there are things in the formula.
You just got my brain racing right now. This means that I can actually go and ask, ChatGPT or use AI and ask them what would Elon Musk do as a business decision if they were in my place, and actually learn from their experiences, and actually have these people with me in my team.
Amazing. Absolutely. You can have these things act as any person or personalities, even a mix of personalities.
Wow.
So if you were Elon Musk and Bill Gates and blah 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 all in one brain, what would you do in this situation? So yeah, you could like I said, I honestly believe the sky is not the limit, it's just the target. I mean, if you just expand your thoughts, just dive deeper and let yourself go into these things, you can develop so many things. You could leverage so many things. You become so much more efficient, so much more effective, and definitely, you'll become one of the vital fews, not the trivial many. So
Wow.
if you want to become a vital person, one of the vital few, like they say, and if you want to be one of the vital few, not be one of the trivial many, okay? You gotta upgrade yourself and upskill yourselves. You have to keep your scanner ready and searching for any and all of those technologies. And even if you don't become an expert in all of them, you gotta know something about them. And you have to be able to figure out, how can I leverage this to help me in my life, in my family, in my work, in my investment, in whatever, even in health. And now you could actually feed your, some kind of AI can read your blood tests and actually give you hints on things that are
Expert
happening.
advice.
It
Wow.
can actually, accumulatively, I have an AI assistant in health. Every 2-3 months now, I'm doing a blood test and stuff like that, feeding it to the thing, and I say, hey, accumulatively, tell me what's happening, what's going on now. Okay, of course, I mean, you've got to be smart enough and wise enough to look at all these things as indicative things, as data that you can analyze and visualize, and then, of course, learn from it. But amazing. I mean, it had brought my attention. It brought my attention things and even supplements that I could take on and make a part of my life that can improve my health and stuff like that. It gave me questions that I can ask my doctor, further tests to look at, to investigate further things. And it's paid off. It's really paid off in a couple of situations.
So, I mean, now you really highlighted to us that this is more of a transformation. It's an evolution. The humanity is now evolving. It's a new era. It's about transformation. And sometimes what would you say, Dr. Ahmed, to people who keep misreading this kind of evolution or transformation and just focus on the word digital and sort of, get this kind of, fear or resistance to change just because they're stuck with that? They're going to be losing the norm. They're going to be losing, what they're used to. What would you want to, what's like a piece of advice that you want to share with people who are thinking that way?
Another amazing question, Doaa, and area of concentration. You will not escape digital. No one will escape digital. The only way to deal with digital is to learn digital, is to become digitally mature. And my advice is even to go above and beyond that and become digitally dexter. Dexter means you got to really know this stuff and know where to leverage it within your life. So you can't, number one, you cannot escape digital. The whole world is turning digital. I think the United States now, by the end of this year, within their government organization, they will stop receiving paper money and they will only deal with digital dollars, for example. So that changes your life. I mean, imagine when a country now adopts that, we no longer have paper money. And if you want to deal with the government, you've got to deal within digital currency. Okay, you got to learn it. You have to be able to deal with it. So basically, you can't escape digital. You got to learn digital. You have to move and sort of like always be future ready. Okay. And the only way to be future ready is to keep your eyes on the digital world, see what's happening, look at all of these things. Be careful with the digital environment. Those things are there, and the whole world has to come together, I think, on policing the digital world and policing the metaverses and digital twins and stuff like that. But we can't escape it. We have to deal with it. It is a part of our life. The whole world is moving that way, and so far, I don't see any way to stop it at all.
To help people who are actually sort of resisting the idea, how can we embrace and practice digital without losing our humane? How can we keep both?
Again, amazing question. It's, humanizing AI is a whole area of study that is now being tackled by a lot of thought leaders around the world and a lot of experts. So yes, sort of like the interaction, the cross between humanity and AI definitely is something that we're working towards. I've personally been blessed with being part of a couple of experiments in that field, where we take a digital twin and actually try to humanize it by adding aspects such as unsupervised learning and stuff like that, and supervised learning, and giving it as much of us humans as possible. And guess what? It's smart enough to already do a lot of things that humans can't do, unless they just sit down in teams and think of things and take a long time to do it. But AI could do it in a lot faster way with many, many alternatives and so on. So imagine now that we just take the time and keep taking the time to humanize AI with human cultures from all across the world and so like that. It's actually a lot of people around the world, organizations and governments and people, individuals, who are working on something like that. It will take a long time to humanize AI, but I do believe that it's in action, it's happening, and there's a lot of efforts around the world to humanize AI. So don't be afraid of AI. Just look at it as a tool, and ask yourself, how can I leverage it? So, and then it would become a simple formula to deal with.
Is it more like, feeding emotional intelligence and conversational intelligence into AI and into digital twins to make it more human?
That's exactly one area where humanizing AI is actually stumbling and maybe hitting blocks, which is, how can we make AI feel? And
wow, I love that.
Yeah, there's basically a lot of experimentations around the world happening, a lot of piloting happening in many, many places. But I think it's only a matter of time before we can accumulatively, over a number of years, I would say maybe 3, 5, 10 years from now, AI will become much more humanized, and it will deal with feelings. And actually, we're going above and beyond that. Is actually we're going into areas now. How can we make AI tools actually smell and taste? And when we interact with things in the digital world, how can we actually now feel this and smell the smell and taste the taste and stuff like that? So yeah, there's so many experimentations happening in that world. It would be amazing to see and be a part of it, to see what happens in the upcoming years.
We need to keep engaging to make that kind of practice grow, keep feeding AI, keep thinking with AI, conversing with AI, sharing what we think, so AI starts to grow and actually help us back, and it becomes a real thing instead of just, so it's our role now. It's our responsibility to do that.
Yeah.
You say.
Yeah, but like one major drawback is that if people actually hack what you got and what you teach AI, then they know so many things about you. So the aspect of AI ethics and policing AI has to grow at a faster pace than what AI is growing. I mean, so far AI is growing every day, but AI ethics and AI policing is happening once a year when the United Nations meets, or policing organizations across the world meet and figure out, okay, we have problems, what should we do? So now these two paces have to coincide. Actually, the AI ethics and policing has to go 10x faster than what AI is happening. And unfortunately, this is not happening right now, but there are movements and initiatives across the world, from the United Nations, from governments, from thought leaders and stuff like that, to actually fast-pace the movement of AI ethics and AI policing. But that is it remains to be a major problem within the world of AI.
And experts are actually helping other people to bring their attention and make that, make the speed of AI policing go as fast as it needs to, because obviously they need your help. People like you, thought leaders like you, are responsible for making everybody aware what needs to happen and at what pace.
Absolutely. That's why a little while back, a few months ago, a bunch of the people who were within the industry of AI and thought leadership of AI actually called for a freeze on AI development.
Whoa.
It was just saying it's happening too fast. I think the world should stop right here until we figure out what in the world is going on. How can we, add ethics and policing to it and cybersecurity and all of these things at a level that actually protects humanity. So there were actually a lot of people, including Elon Musk, I think, was calling for a freeze, an absolute 100% freeze on AI until we figure out what's going on.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
Yeah, amazing.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Both have to be coinciding, like you said, and policing has to take the lead. But then now taking that to a level of your personal, point of view, how would it make you feel personally when you see people, actually beginning to understand the importance of digital twins, embracing the idea, being, collaborative with all of the entities which want to push this, technology forward? When you get to what you want to see, people are happy with this transformation. They get it. It's a new era. It's a transformation for humanity. How would that make you personally feel?
I look at AI as a bunch of tools and techniques and possibilities, okay? And then I look at the world, for example, in my world, I have my organization, which I believe I owe to, I should have the loyalty, and I owe that organization to give it my best. So when I look, and then my family, my home, my city, whatever you want to talk about. Now, when you look at AI, to me, it's just part of the bundle. I'm a human being trying to live the best life I can. I am an employee trying to do the best I can. I'm a husband trying to do the best I can. I'm a father. I'm this, I'm that, whatever. Okay, I'm an investor. So I just look at it as a tool. And I just look at the possibilities. What is how is it going to be possible for me to leverage this plus this? And if I did leverage this plus this, what would that achieve? And then I go through piloting and experimenting and stuff like that. So basically, the way I look at AI, it's just that. It's a tool. It's a world that I have to know and interact with, but I'm not going to let it control me to the level to where, I can only depend on it, and without it, I'm nothing. And so there's always alternatives and other ways of life. Which is at this point in time very difficult to do without AI. But yeah, you gotta keep on top. So it's, to me, that there are a bunch of tools, bunch of techniques, bunch of things, bunch of concepts that I have to think of and look at the concept of use cases. Okay, so what exactly I can bundle what with what so that I can benefit this, so that whether it's for me or the organization, and so on. So that's just the way I look at it right now. This is the only way I deal with AI at this point in time. Of course, keep learning. I have this scanner that, I never sleep any night without spending at least 30 minutes trying to discover what else is new today.
Wow.
What happened in the world of AI today, right?
Impressive.
And I try, to spend, 30 minutes or an hour before I sleep to do that. Okay. And that's how I keep on top of it, knowing, what's going on, who's doing what in the world of AI or digital twins or conversational AI or metaverse or whatever. So it's that. You got to stay on top. You got to keep learning. You got to look at it as a tool. Don't let it control your life, but definitely use it, leverage it, benefit from it.
And what you just said, Dr. Tarawneh, is basically shows people who are resisting this kind of change that this is just an invention. It's just a human invention. It does not supersede anything in humanity. It's just an invention, a tool to help you live life, in a way that's easier, more efficient, more effective, and get more results.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The only way to look at it is that, don't fight it, learn it, stay on top of it, avoid whatever you want to avoid, but avoid with your own conscience and choice. I mean, if you try to avoid it because you don't know it, you don't understand it, stuff like that, it's just a matter of time before it overcomes you. So it's walking with change, not resisting change, right? You got to understand change. A lot of time people resist change because they just don't know what's in it for them.
Yeah.
They don't understand value of changing. And also they feel they're in a comfort zone. And, I mean, if I take on this, or if I allow this to take part of my life, then I have to leave my comfort zone and go somewhere else, live in a different way, which I have to adapt to. And that's just what change is. And change is the only constant in life. So if you don't change, I think now with AI, if you don't change, you will be changed.
Yeah.
Or you will be on the sidelines. And that's definitely not a place to be.
So it's more like own it, use it, like, make it yours.
Take on AI, don't fight it. Just learn from it. Learn just figure out how it's going to improve your life and make you a better person, a better father, a better employee, a better investor.
So, like, what is the final word that you would like to, or like a piece of, advice that you want to share with everybody who's watching us today on why they actually need to start engaging and understanding and learning about digital transformation or mindset transformation or human evolution? What would you want to share with them to make them, take actual steps in order to start engaging with understanding all of these beautiful concepts?
Yeah, that's a responsibility. So if I open up my mouth and start giving advice, it's a big responsibility. But really, the biggest advice I can give, I would sort of like segment it this way. To the youth, I would say embrace, learn, accumulate, think use cases, think micro business, because at this point in time, it is amazingly beneficial to pick up any one of those areas. Like if you want to go into digital twins, you could become a builder, a developer. You could become a content builder. It's a micro business. You could become that small business or small micro business that actually works with construction companies to design their digital twins of projects and things of that sort. You can work with cities to become the person or the developer that develops these models of digital twins of cities, and so much opportunities. Like we might need 1 million people across the world, and we only have 100,000.
Oh, so my goodness!
There's definitely there's a lot of room there. So to the youth, I would say, embrace it, take it on, learn it, dive deeper into it, and think in terms of micro business, not job. Okay. But even if you were thinking in terms of job, if you're the top person that's more relaxed and more of a personality of a job person, then yes, there's so many jobs available, like a metaverse developer. Okay. So we don't have any of those. Okay. So digital prompt engineer. Okay. Organizations now need prompt engineer designers, whatever. Okay. So you can become that. All right. So that's my advice to the youth. My advice to people who are older, us, the dinosaurs, I say, don't be afraid of AI. Just figure out what part is it playing in your life now, and figure out what kind of knowledge and things that you need to learn so that you can keep up with your life with AI, not against AI. And to the world, I say, please, let's just speed up the movement of AI ethics and AI policing. That's definitely something that's really, really needed at this point in time. And I think that kind of speeding up in that field will help relax the minds of hundreds of millions of people across the world, that AI can be a good thing. It's a tool. It can be used in good and it can be used in bad. It can be used in ugly. It's just a tool, a weapon, just like anything.
So like use it, use it to blow up. It's like use it to blow up your personality. Use it to blow up your mission. Is it like that?
Absolutely. I mean, it's whatever you want to leverage it. You want to take 1% advantage of AI, or none or 100%. It's all up to you.